Chapter 483. 59 games unbeaten. It's happening today. Today, we are truly the number one in Europe. The fans in the stands are on the verge of madness. Today is not only a direct clash between the first and second in the Premier League, which determines the championship, but also a crucial point for Manchester City's record of 59 unbeaten league games. For City fans, winning this match is of immense significance. Guardiola and Conte stand on the sidelines. Although Conte has a bit of a temper and often gets into arguments with the club management, his coaching ability is recognized by the vast majority. His three center-back system has been dominating in Serie A and remains at the top of the food chain in the Premier League. Both coaches have strong reasons to win this match. Conte's three center-back system is still quite unfamiliar in the Premier League. Although Guardiola has used three center-backs before, it is essentially a variation of a four-back system, with Stones pushed to a defensive midfield position, and he would retreat back to central defense when defending. Moreover, Guardiola rarely employs this formation, opting for a stable four-back setup in key matches. Conte, on the other hand, typically plays with three center-backs and four midfielders. Chapter 484. The ball is headed in. Zhao, he made a late run and knocked down David Luiz, heading the ball into the net just ahead of Azpilicueta. Manchester City takes the lead at home. Azpilicueta collided with Zhao Yi's head, and the impact was significant. Both teams' medical staff had to come onto the field to check on the situation. The fans at the Etihad stood up, straining their necks to see what was happening on the field. Both Azpilicueta and Zhao Yi were lying in the penalty area, appearing to be in considerable pain. Although the goal was scored, no one cheered. The entire stadium was very quiet. Guardiola and Conte stood on the sidelines, both looking grim. Guardiola was worried about Zhao Yi's condition. If he had a concussion or something more serious happened, it would be troublesome. He had warned Zhao Yi to avoid being too aggressive on the field. It could lead to serious injuries. Before the season started, Guardiola had hoped Zhao Yi could reduce his dribbling and aerial challenges to protect his body. Zhao Yi listened for 2 matches, playing well in midfield, organizing and assisting, while reducing his dribbling and shooting. However, as soon as the Premier League began, Zhao Yi reverted to his previous season's form, and even more aggressively. Chapter 485. This attack was initiated by Hazard on the left flank. As Chelsea's most threatening player, Hazard has consistently performed well in past matches. Manchester City's right-side defense needs to be more vigilant. Additionally, Costa in the center is very skilled at finding opportunities. Pedro on the right also poses a significant threat with his second ball ability, positioning, and shooting skills. These 3 players should not be underestimated. Manchester City must stabilize their defense while attacking. Being countered by Chelsea can be deadly. This match is destined not to be an ordinary, dull game. Manchester City's midfield and forward players also possess tremendous attacking power. Super Zhao, having returned to the center-forward position, has already shown outstanding physicality and goal-scoring ability. With Azpilicueta and Zhao Yi back on the field, both sides return to their strongest form. When Manchester City organized their attack, Chelsea's 3 center-backs began to retreat. And with Alonso and Moses, Chelsea's defense became a fortress once again. This time, not only David Luiz but also Cahill and Azpilicueta focused on tightly marking Zhao Yi. With Zhao Yi alone in the penalty area, even a deity would struggle to make a move. Chapter 486. David Luiz immediately gritted his teeth and followed him from the inside. Zhao Yi pulled the ball back, faking out David Luiz just a bit, causing Luiz to lose his balance momentarily. Cahill quickly moved to Luiz's left side to block his path. There was a tiny gap between the two, not enough for Zhao Yi to rush through, but the ball was just enough to get through. Zhao Yi gritted his teeth, looking ferocious, as if he was about to force his way through the middle. Cahill immediately moved, and David Luiz shifted his weight back. Zhao Yi made a sprint, twisting his knee, and abruptly stopped. The ball passed between Cahill's legs. Luiz and Cahill collided directly, causing Cahill to fall to the ground. The ball entered the penalty area, and Zhao Yi slipped past Cahill on his left, swinging his arms as he ran into the box. David Luiz was having a terrible time, first being knocked off balance by Zhao Yi, allowing him to score the first goal, and now being knocked out of shape by his teammate. But he still forced himself to turn around, stumbling into the penalty area. At the same time, Courtois rushed out from the small box, sliding violently towards the ball. Zhao Yi also fell to the ground, both of them crazily sliding towards the ball. Chapter 487. Referee Taylor needs to check the VAR to determine how this goal should be counted. This situation indeed requires serious consideration. From the replay, both players appear to have tackled the ball fiercely, but there should be no foul. Neither Zhao E. Courtois nor David Luiz committed any foul actions. Taylor only reviewed the replay once and did not dwell on it for long, then turned back to the field. The fans at the Etihad stretched their necks, and Chelsea's players looked at Taylor with displeased expressions. They clearly sensed something was off. Guardiola and Connie had little expression as well. After Taylor made the VAR gesture, he raised his hand to point to the center circle. Instantly, the Etihad Stadium erupted. The goal counts. They have taken the lead again. Excited fans embraced each other. This goal was indeed hard-earned. After Chelsea equalized, their defense tightened, becoming impenetrable. It would not be an exaggeration to describe it as a web of defense. Although Chelsea's attacks were few, they were very threatening. The first goal showed that the front trio posed a significant threat to the defense. Chapter 488. Oh no. Can this mistake be outrun? Zhao kicked the ball towards Chelsea's half. Then, it turned into an athletic competition. David Luiz came from the side, trying to engage in physical contact, but Zhao accelerated and shook off David Luiz by half a body length. With no other option, David Luiz reached out to grab Zhao shoulder. Zhao shook his shoulder, throwing off David Luiz's hand, causing Luiz to lose his balance and fall to the ground. Luiz fell again. The Chelsea commentator watched helplessly as Zhao took a step forward, as if he had an engine installed. Once his body was balanced, he shot out like an arrow. Cahill behind him was desperately trying to catch up, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't close the distance to that sky blue figure. He could only feel the gap between them widening. However, his professionalism kept him going. What if Zhao fell? Or what if he made a mistake and slowed down while controlling the ball? Begovic in the penalty area hesitated for a moment, looking at the ball ahead, recalling Courtois' misfortune, and didn't dare to rush out. He waited for Zhao to come closer. Chapter 489. 2 goals behind, Chelsea's players started to get anxious. Connie stood on the sidelines again, urging Chelsea's players to stabilize their rhythm and not to attack recklessly. Manchester City's counterattacks were too strong right now. They had to maintain the integrity of their formation and avoid any more mistakes. On the basis of ensuring defense, they needed to attack again. As long as they could pull one back, there was hope of leaving the Etihad with a draw. Zhao stood at the front again. In this match, he rarely participated in the team's organization. The midfield was completely left to De Bruyne, Silva, and Gundogan. The abilities of these players were only stronger, not weaker. Compared to Chelsea's midfield, Zhao position at the front was very effective. He could tie up the opposing center-backs, making Luiz and Cahill hesitant to push forward. This actually weakened Chelsea's attack. Hazard and Pedro attempted to find opportunities several times, but because Manchester City's double pivot dropped too deep, Chelsea had no good solutions on the flanks. Chelsea's strongest point was their wing play, seeking gaps. Although they had Costa in the middle, there were no attackers outside the penalty area. This allowed Guardiola to make targeted deployments to suppress Chelsea's attacking methods. Chapter 490. The previous 3 lines were closely connected, not only able to cut off passing routes, but also able to delay all ball carriers' progression. At this point, Matic actually ran to the wrong position. David Silva charged forward with the ball. By the time Matic wanted to return, it was already too late. He could only move laterally to intercept Silva. Unfortunately, Gundogan rushed past and received the ball, successfully bypassing Matic's defense. Oh no, Chelsea's defense has been breached today. Gundogan sent a through ball to De Bruyne, who was charging up the left. De Bruyne hardly paused, sending a long ball over Spilicueta. The ball crossed the middle and reached the right side. Sterling was parallel to the defensive line, not offside. There were gaps everywhere. Cahill could only give up on blocking Zhao and rush to the flank. David Luiz stood between Zhao and Sterling, desperately chasing back. Sterling and Cahill raced in speed, but Cahill was still a bit lacking. Cahill could use his body to block Sterling, preventing him from breaking through, but he couldn't stop Sterling's cross. Sterling charged towards the baseline and took a big kick. Because he didn't have enough precision in controlling the power, the ball flew a bit high. Chapter 491. The location of this year's Club World Cup is in Asia. In the country of Sakura, Osaka and Yokohama are the 2 host cities. The brothers from Sule should be very familiar with Osaka and Yokohama. Osaka Sakura, Gamba Osaka, and Yokohama Mariners are all very famous J-League teams. They must have made a lot of money off the brothers, right? The participating teams in the Club World Cup are the champion teams from 6 continents, plus the champion team from the top league of the host country. totaling 7 teams. Asia has 2 teams that qualified: last year's AFC Champions League champion Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors and last year's J-League champion Kashima Antlers. Kashima Antlers, after a few years, has fallen from a J-League powerhouse to a mid-table team. The other teams are Mame Lodi from South Africa, Club America from Central and North America, Auckland City from Australia, and Atlético Nacional from the Copa Libertadores champions. Brazilian and Argentine teams performed poorly in the last Copa Libertadores, and the South American Libertadores trophy was rarely taken by a Colombian team. The European champions and South American Libertadores champions only need to start from the semifinals due to their strength, which is indeed reasonable. As in the previous 12 Club World Cups, all champions were divided among the Libertadores champions and the UEFA Champions League champions. Chapter 492. For Guardiola's suggestions. Zhao temporarily set them aside. The most important thing now is the Club World Cup, which is related to Manchester City's 7th championship this season. No team has ever achieved this before. Even the once dominant dream team Barcelona could not do it, as due to La Liga's schedule. Barcelona could only win a maximum of 6 championships in a single season. After arriving at the hotel, Manchester City players took some time to rest. The next day, at the Yokohama Nissan Stadium. This stadium, which can hold 70,000 people, was already packed. Among them were some Sakura Country fans coming to enjoy this high-level competition, as well as a large number of local fans from the Huagua, wearing Zhao Yi's jersey, with red flags or Manchester City team badges painted on their faces. There were also Huagua fans waving red flags and draped in national flags who traveled thousands of miles to cheer for Zhao Yi. Watching Zhao Yi play in Europe is not easy. It's much simpler here. Months ago, regarding Manchester City's matches in the Club World Cup, it had already become an industry chain domestically. Many intermediaries made considerable income from it. Of course, Zhao Yi also had quite a few fans in the Sakura country. Zhao Yi's looks were handsome enough that many young women became his fans. Chapter 493. Club America's overall formation dropped very deep. After Zhao Yi received the ball, Samudio and Martinez rushed over to form a double team. As Zhao Yi carried the ball forward, he suddenly stopped, with one player on each side. Samudio was guarding against Zhao Yi, suddenly accelerating to break through to the baseline, while Martinez was ready to watch Zhao Yi go between the two. Zhao Yi passed the ball back to the following David Silva. Silva shifted towards the middle. All of Manchester City pressed forward. Naturally, Club America shifted their defensive focus to the middle. Zhao Yi received the ball on the flank again. Once again, he was double-teamed. However, this time, before the two players could set up their defense, Zhao Yi accelerated. He forced his way through the gap between the two. The ball under his feet passed between Martinez's legs, and Martinez hurriedly closed his legs, but the ball still went through. Zhao Yi used his legs to hold off Samudio while engaging in a leg battle with Martinez. And the football was nudged by the two of them 3 times in quick succession. Yet, it was still Zhao Yi who managed to hook it away. He then pulled the ball with his left foot while using his right hand to block Samudio's chest, preventing him from getting close. Samudio, anxious, kept trying to extend his leg to interfere. Chapter 494. Oh no, even Delph can take a shot? As the match reached the 15th minute, Delph, who made a late run, received a pass from Gundogan and took a powerful shot. Unfortunately, the ball was saved by Munoz. Delph has had very few shooting opportunities in Manchester City's tactical system, but in this match, he got a chance and his shot was of good quality. In the past 15 minutes, Manchester City had already taken 7 shots, 6 of which were on target, scoring 1 goal, with a possession rate of 79%. Club America was completely pinned down in their penalty area. Munoz had made 5 successful saves. This goalkeeper's market value is going to rise. Munoz shouted loudly to the defenders. The ball was cleared out by Arroyo. Fernandinho ran out to wipe the ball and forcefully threw it to Zhao Yi. Samudio behind Zhao. He tried his best to interfere, but to no avail. Zhao Yi easily held him off. Then, with a turn to the left, Musadio immediately followed. After a shift in weight, Zhao Yi successfully turned to the right. Musadio's defensive strength was far inferior to that of Premier League defenders. Their fundamentals were too weak. Although they were professional players, the skill level of players from Central America was still comparable to amateurs compared to those from South America and Europe. Chapter 495. Kyle Walker entered a certain state. He sprinted down the right flank, charging straight ahead. When he encountered Martinez coming back from the center, he suddenly slowed down and changed direction. He managed to shake off Martinez. Kyle Walker, cutting in, a beautiful breakthrough. Kyle Walker himself was surprised that he could successfully cut in. De Bruyne, who was nearby, watched Walker's excitement without asking for the ball. Instead, he proactively moved to the side, drawing Guerrero away, creating a large space for Walker. Walker carried the ball from the center-right area, diagonally charging towards the edge of the penalty area. Was Kyle Walker going to score with a solo run? This is rare. Aguilar immediately moved in to provide support, and Martinez followed closely behind. Seeing Aguilar standing in front of him, Walker quickly changed his route and moved laterally again. He ran so fast that the flesh on his face shook twice. Aguilar followed to intercept laterally. Walker increased his speed. Fernandinho, who was following alongside, quickly darted past, giving Walker enough space. When he reached the edge of the penalty area, Walker swung his leg and unleashed a powerful shot. Chapter 496. The players from Club America were not in good form. After finally having an attacking opportunity, they were intercepted by Walker. He charged all the way to the edge of the penalty area, just when they thought they had defended well. Almost the same route was taken again for a solo breakthrough. The defense of Club America was on the verge of collapse. Under Guardiola's instruction, Manchester City's attacking pace slowed down. He needed the players to maintain their form. This match should be won, as there was another final to play in 3 days. The thoughts of the head coach and the fans are always different. Fans want to see goals, while the coach is more concerned with the team's performance and the players' conditions. After the Club World Cup, Manchester City would also return to England to participate in the League Cup and the Premier League. The load on the players was too heavy. Manchester City continued to dominate possession, but the offensive threat significantly decreased. This allowed Club America's defense to relax a bit. Before the end of the first half, Zhao took another shot from the edge of the penalty area, which was saved by Munoz. Munoz got up from inside the penalty area and roared at the sky. If someone had just turned on the TV to watch the match, they might have thought Club America had eliminated Manchester City. This made Zhao chuckle. Chapter 497. Before the Club World Cup final began, the local media was buzzing with excitement. The host team, Kashima Antlers, defeated Nacional with a score of 3-0, advancing to the final to compete for the championship trophy against Manchester City. Just like when Hung Thai Club faced Barcelona in the Club World Cup, the enthusiasm in the country was equally high. As an Asian team, Kashima Antlers had a chance to compete with the Champions League winners. This was an opportunity for learning and a great honor. Across the country, online and in schools, numerous fans were watching and discussing. Many fans held very radical views. Statements like "Kill Little Sakura" flooded the internet. Some more moderate fans, who usually hesitated to express their opinions, stood up this time, believing that the radical fans' comments were too conservative. Killing isn't enough. They should repeatedly grind them down before killing them. Pin them down, beat them until they poop, and then feed the poop back to them. After Kyle Walker was scolded by Guardiola for 2 days, Manchester City welcomed the final showdown. Yokohama International Stadium. Around 6 in the evening, both teams warmed up before the match. The players of Kashima Antlers were noticeably shorter than those of Manchester City. Chapter 498. The fans in the stand were almost clearly divided. The local native fans supported Kashima Antlers, while fans from far-off China or Chinese residents living locally came to support Manchester City. Both sides tried to make more noise to overshadow each other, inevitably exchanging greetings. "I F your ancestors. Bastards. Kill little Sakura. You little bee." In any case, most people couldn't understand what the other side was cursing about. The intensity in the stands far exceeded that of the J-League and the Chinese Super League. Many fans brought drums and gongs to cheer for their teams. What caught Zhao Yi's attention was that there was a professional Swana ensemble in the stands. Kashima Antlers won the coin toss, and Manchester City had possession. After the kickoff, Kashima Antlers' defense was very tight and deep. They were wary of Manchester City's strong attacking ability. At the same time, they adopted a very low posture. Japanese football borrowed characteristics from several world football powerhouses. They had the intricate techniques and quick advances of Brazil, as well as the discipline and defense of German football. From the beginning of their football academies, they emphasized teamwork and strict discipline. Team football is far superior to individual technical displays. Chapter 499. Manchester City's rapid interchanges in the midfield and front line. De Bruyne and Silva pass continuously. Sterling swiftly races down the sideline. Silva delivers a precise through ball. A very accurate ball played behind the defenders. Sterling bypasses the defender, seizes the moment to get into position, and cuts inside directly. The Kashima Antlers defense immediately becomes alert and shifts towards the left flank, with Yamamoto Shudo quickly positioning himself to help defend. Sterling strikes the ball sharply, sending it towards the center. The fans in the entire stadium hold their breath. The commentator's voice rises, warning that this ball needs to be handled with care. Manchester City suddenly changes the rhythm and attacking route, causing the Kashima Antlers defense to become slightly lax. They do not defend Sterling as they did with Zhao, which allows Sterling to find a very good passing angle. Agüero positions himself against Shoji Jin, leaps high into the air. The not-so-tall Agüero, having already established his position, uses his strong physical attributes. He manages to head the ball before the center back. However, influenced by Shoji Jin, he cannot fully turn to shoot. His header directs the ball to the back post. Shoji Jin, defending Agüero, is unable to recover in time. At the back post, Ueda Naomichi and Shibasaki Gaku rush toward Zhao, who has found a good position. Chapter 500. The Kashima Antlers players have excellent footwork. Moreover, their teamwork is extremely harmonious. Compared to Club America, they are a notch above. In their last match, they achieved a 30-0 victory over Nacional. They relied on quick and agile play, along with the smooth and coordinated teamwork of the front players. After Manchester City scored a goal, the Kashima Antlers players had to change their tactics and frequently attacked Manchester City's backline. On the right, Shibasaki Gaku and Doi Sato work well together along the flank, creating a lot of opportunities on Manchester City's left side, aided by Akasaki Shuhei's support. Kanni, as a single defensive midfielder, feels a bit overwhelmed. In the 17th minute, Shibasaki Gaku passes to Doi Sato, instantly piercing through Manchester City's left defense. After cutting in from the byline, Doi Sato delivers a high-quality cutback. Akasaki Shuhei seizes the opportunity and takes a shot. Unfortunately, Kompany, not being at the Asian level, blocks the ball with a lifted leg. The choice of position is crucial for defensive players. An experienced and physically outstanding center back like Kompany can assess the game situation at any time. He is fully aware of positioning in the opponent's formation and runs. Chapter 501. Closing his eyes and retracting his neck, Zhang Duanjuan still couldn't evade this ball. He fell flat. After scoring, Zhao jumps continuously, rushing to the sideline. He lands with a big jump. In the stands, fans are flushed with excitement, unable to contain their enthusiasm. Loyalty. Zhao raises his right hand, standing tall. He lifts his head, looking towards the fan section above. The shirtless old man, standing in front of the fans, is flushed with excitement, vigorously waving a huge red flag. The middle-aged man at the highest point holds a horn high. Loyalty. Loyalty. Agüero gets up, running from the center circle to the front, jumping onto Zhao Yi's back. He waves his fists and opens his mouth wide. Loyalty. Awesome. He doesn't know what it means, but as a genius linguist, he learns quickly. He knows one word in English, happy, and has learned a couple of phrases in Chinese. Agüero will be the future secretary of the Argentine party branch. While Manchester City's players celebrate wildly, the Kashima Antlers team, Doctor, comes onto the field. Zhang Duanjuan is done for. This ball has broken his nasal bone, and his teeth are loose. He definitely has a concussion. A hero. Chapter 502. Oh no. Yay. At Yokohama International Stadium, the cheers of Chinese fans fill the air. Drumming accompanies the sharp and bright sounds of Suona. They are not only celebrating Zhao Yi's goal, but also composing a mournful farewell tune for Kashima Antlers. The Kashima Antlers players are frozen in place. The commentator stares at the screen in disbelief. 2 minutes, 2 goals. 3-0. The backline passing and ground control that Kashima Antlers takes pride in is utterly ineffective against Manchester City's fierce players. Bruno can toy with Zhao thanks to his footwork. It looks very morale-boosting. He can succeed countless times, but if he fails once, it's all over. Unexpectedly, failure comes so quickly. Zhao intercepts the ball and goes one-on-one. Even if they are unwilling to admit it, this rising young talent is indeed much stronger than them. The Kashima Antlers coach Ishii Masaru shouts, reminding the players to pay attention to defense. No more showing off. It's making their scalps tingle. This tactic is not suitable when facing a team like Manchester City. Their front players are too mobile. They are already 3 goals behind. They cannot afford to concede more. Otherwise, they will definitely be forced out by the excited domestic fans. Chapter 503. The Kashima Antlers players are somewhat downcast. However, with Shibasaki Gaku's loud encouragement and the fans' unwavering support, they rally once again. They can still produce good combinations. The fighting spirit of the Japanese players is very strong. Shibasaki Gaku finds Akasaki Shuhei on the right. Akasaki Shuhei, unable to turn in the box, can only go down to send the ball out. Ogasawara Manabu, following up, immediately passes to the left, where Kanazaki Mu comes up with a decent shot from the left. This is Kashima Antler's first shot on target in the match. Bravo deflects the ball with one hand, sending it over the crossbar. Shibasaki Gaku quickly runs to the corner area. Local fans create quite a noise, rising to applaud vigorously. They hope the Kashima Antlers players can showcase their style. They should not be easily defeated by Manchester City. In the stands, many beautiful young girls paint the Kashima Antlers team logo on their faces. The two unique antlers look very cute. These local young female fans stand there, waving their hands and shouting loudly. Shibasaki Kuin, Kanazaki-san, go for it. Keep it up. Come on. Chapter 504. This sound is too amazing. David Silva hugged Zhao Yi, his mind becoming a bit clearer. While talking to Zhao Yi, he looked at the middle-aged fan in the stands, bare-chested, holding a bugle. The Etihad should have this sound. De Bruyne was beside him, a little out of breath. He hadn't done anything, just listened to the horn, running from midfield all the way to the front. He felt a strength he had never experienced before. As soon as the sound rang out, goosebumps covered his body, and he couldn't help but run wildly. It was a good idea. Aguero kept nodding in agreement. The players of Kashima Antlers, completely dazed, kept their heads down, afraid to look at the audience or the coach. The fans supporting Kashima Antlers in the stand were already covering their faces and crying. They had thought that Kashima Antlers might not be able to beat Manchester City, but they never expected to lose like this. In half an hour, they conceded 5 goals, and it was all from one person. In 6 minutes, 4 goals were scored. If he scores another one in the next 3 minutes, he will break a football miracle. Lewandowski scored 5 goals in 9 minutes. Today, he wouldn't let this guy break that record here, would he? Chapter 505. In the 8th minute, 5 goals. He really did it. Yokohama International Stadium. FIFA Club World Cup Final. This is not a world-class powerhouse team, but it is enough for us to remember this moment. Not only at the scene, but also the fans in China and those far away at the Etihad Stadium in England erupted with intense roars. The Etihad was still in the morning, but it was already packed. This stadium was specially opened for Manchester City's 7th championship of the season, allowing local fans to gather together and feel the unparalleled championship atmosphere. Watching the young man standing on the fence on the big screen, the fans at the Etihad felt as if they were seeing a deity in their hearts. 7th championship. Manchester City. Super Zhao. Champions. City. Lewandowski created a miracle in football with 5 goals in 9 minutes. Today he did it, achieving the only single-match scoring record that has not been broken so far. A true record-breaking machine. The 6th goal before halftime. At this momentum, he could really score 10 goals in a single match. Chapter 506. Aguero. Another one. In the 65th minute of the match, Aguero and Silva combined. After Silva's through ball, Aguero fired a classic angle shot. The Kashima Antlers goal was breached again. Manchester City 7 o'clock, giving Kashima Antlers a big 7. The Barcelona of the cherry blossom country is truly deserving of its name. In the second half, Zhao Yi was much more low-key. Manchester City switched to a 4-4-2 formation, and Zhao Yi returned to midfield, reducing his attacking presence significantly. However, Manchester City's overall strength was still much higher. Kashima Antlers had no ability to resist, just like in the first half. The shouting from Ishikawa Seiji in midfield had no effect. Manchester City controlled the situation on the field in the second half. The shots on goal ratio reached 18-3. The shots on target ratio reached 10-1. Kashima Antlers were being beaten by Manchester City, tied to a tree. 10 minutes later, De Bruyne fired from outside the box, scoring again. Manchester City led Kashima Antlers 9 o'clock at Yokohama International Stadium. Many spectators in the stands had already left. They had no desire to continue watching. The J-League champions became fish on the chopping board in the FIFA Club World Cup final, and Manchester City could cut them however they wanted. Zhao Yi, De Bruyne, and Aguero were all substituted off the field. Chapter 507. Journalists entered the stadium and began interviewing players and coaches from both sides. These interviewers had been confirmed before the match started. They were not rushing in at the last minute to interview whoever they wanted. These matters had long had a complete process in the mature football system. Zhao Yi, wearing the gold medal belonging to the FIFA Club World Cup, accepted this interview. Congratulations. You have won your 7th championship of the season, something no one has ever done. We all saw your extraordinary performance in this final. You seemed even more excited than the Champions League final. Can we know the reason? I didn't really feel that way. I put my all into every final. Now that I think about it, my state does seem to be more focused than before. Maybe it's because I saw more of my compatriots, and they gave me more strength and confidence. When I saw those red flags waving, when I heard that exhilarating horn sound echoing throughout the stadium, I was immersed in it. How confident are you about winning the Ballon d'Or? I have enough confidence to compete for all honors, including the Ballon d'Or. The current Zhao is no longer the player who was habitually low-key in front of the media 2 years ago. Chapter 508. This crushing defeat was unacceptable for the local fans. Under the pressure of public opinion, Ishikawa Seiji held a press conference, bowing and apologizing sincerely. In the end, he didn't mention resigning. He stated that he could definitely lead Kashima Antlers to win the J-League Championship. Kashima Antlers were on the right path. The entire Manchester City team left Yokohama, but Zhao stayed behind for the time being. He had to accompany his mother shopping. Zhao Yoji did not come due to business matters. Zhao shared some experiences from Europe with Song Xiaoyang. In fact, he had already told her these things over the phone. He received calls from Song Xiaoyang at a fixed time every day. Zhao Yoji told her not to call too often, as it affected Zhao Yi's performance. But she didn't listen at all, even when repeating things she had already said. Song Xiaoyang listened with great interest. She kept applauding, her eyes full of pride and affection. Finally, Song Xiaoyang told Zhao Yi that playing football was one thing, but he must not push himself too hard. When she saw Zhao Yi being tackled on TV, she would cry in heartache. Was it worth it for a worn-out ball? For what? For money? Or for fame? Chapter 509. Before Zhao Yi finalized his participation in the BBC interview, France Football announced the final rankings for the 2016 Ballon d'Or in reverse order. This year, France Football and FIFA no longer collaborated, so the Ballon d'Or and the World Footballer of the Year were selected separately. The Ballon d'Or was also no longer revealed on the award ceremony site, as before, but rather the rankings were determined in advance. After announcing the 6th place, France Football jumped straight to the player ranked first. Only then were the names of the other 4 players in the top 5 revealed. Zhao Yi stayed at Agüero's house, waiting with teammates like De Bruyne, Sterling, David Silva, and company for half a day. When the announcement reached the 6th place, a group of teammates began to breathe heavily. Zhao Yi swallowed, pretending to be indifferent. Agüero held a champagne bottle, waiting for the final ranking to be revealed, then celebrated by opening the champagne. It must be yours, Zhao. Absolutely number 1. No one can take your Ballon d'Or. I really hope Messi wins, but he's too far behind you. After the 6th place, France Football directly announced the Ballon d'Or winner. Chapter 510. Just as the Ballon d'Or award ceremony began, an interview about Zhao Yi also started. Originally, it wasn't scheduled for this time, but after communication between Perrin and the program team, the time was changed at the last minute. The program team believed this timing would certainly be full of topics, at least in England. Initially, they invited Henry as the host. But since Henry had to attend the Ballon d'Or ceremony, they replaced him with another host, Emma Stone, a well-established young sports journalist, only 27 years old, with blonde wavy hair. After a series of opening remarks, Emma Stone invited Zhao Yi into the studio. During the 5-minute opening, Emma Stone was already criticized harshly by many England fans. Does she think she's pretty? Does she think she has talent? Doesn't she know what we want to see? You're a host. You're not here to sell yourself, okay? We want to see Super Zhao. Can you wear something appropriate? Why show off your legs? I'd rather watch adult films than look at you. Hurry up. Hurry up. Chapter 511. Oh my God, Emma Stone's heart was about to jump out. This was too arrogant. This was too crazy. Fans knew that Zhao Yi was a player who kept his word and would do everything he promised. Therefore, he rarely made promises. Now, he was on television, in front of everyone, saying such crazy things. He wasn't hysterical or lost his mind. He said it calmly, as simply as saying he would have fish for lunch. Emma Stone was silent for half a minute, unsure of what to say. Huh, holy shit, what the hell? Super Zhao has gone crazy? What's he planning? How can he say such things? I, Zhao the king of football, am awesome. Scoring a few goals makes him think he is invincible? I've never seen such a cocky kid. Not respecting Messi and Ronaldo is already insane. But he treats all European giants as trash? Is this something a normal person can say? Isn't he wrong? What he said is crazy, but it's the truth. Real Madrid and Barcelona were beaten without a chance to fight back. What's the problem? Bernabeu and Camp Nou were brought to tears. Bayern couldn't hold on for 20 minutes. Zhao the King just stated a fact. There's no problem at all. No one in Europe can compete. Zhao the King is invincible. If the Ballon d'Or doesn't go to Zhao the King, he won't attend anymore. This is the only chance for the Ballon d'Or. If missed, it will be gone. Fans watching the live broadcast were confused. Some went crazy, and others became excited instantly. Guardiola's brothers were completely stunned. Has this kid gone mad? Saying this will attract a swarm of haters. In the future, if he loses a Champions League title, all the media and those waiting to see a joke will flock to him. A flood of ridicule will come. There's no need to wait for that time. Many media outlets will speak out against this arrogant kid now. Just for a Ballon d'Or, he's gotten so stimulated, directly declaring himself invincible. Messi and Ronaldo are not as good as him, and all European giants are useless. In the whole world, apart from Manchester City players and fans, everyone else will become his enemy. What is he thinking? Even if he is really invincible, he can't say it like that. What should we do? Every team that faces Manchester City, that faces him, will charge at him like mad dogs. Defeat Manchester City, defeat him. Waiting to see a huge joke. This kind of talk is something even Ronaldo, who isn't very sharp, wouldn't say. Ronaldo just sees Messi as a rival. But you treat all players and clubs in the world as rivals. At this moment, the three little ones at Pep Guardiola's house jumped up on the sofa, banging their cheering sticks nonstop. Brother-in-law is the best in the world. Husband is the best in the world. Husband is the best in the world. The little girl was pushed down on the sofa by her sister, pouting and unwillingly shouting, brother-in-law is the best in the world. Messi, who was waiting to see a joke in Spain, couldn't laugh at this moment. He always felt that Zhao was very similar to him, not causing trouble off the field, but proving himself with strength on the field, defeating opponents. He rarely boasted and wouldn't say he was the best in the world. In public interviews, he was very low-key. This time, the kid had completely gone mad. Not only did he say Messi and Ronaldo were not good, but he also said all the teams in Europe were not good. He even dismissed the Ballon d'Or, the highest honor for a player, as worthless. He was going to be against all clubs, players, and media in the football world. This little guy is crazier than that foolish Ronaldo. Chapter 5:12. Subsequently, Zhao answered questions about his transfer to Real Madrid. This question had been circulating every few days, causing discomfort and confusion from Manchester City's management. This wasn't just Florentino's doing. Perrin was involved too. It was precisely because Perrin often secretly hinted to the media that Zhao had interest in Real Madrid that led to this situation. The reason was simple. Perrin's goal was to maximize profits. He wanted his client, Zhao to increase his market value. He would use every means to ensure Zhao earned more money. Even if it was eventually discovered that he was behind it, he could take responsibility for everything. In fact, Zhao really didn't know that Perrin had done this sneaky thing. Perrin only told Zhao to focus on playing well and leave the rest to him. Zhao has made a very clear statement this time. Many media outlets and fans are discussing that several top clubs are trying to invite him. Such things are quite common. Even Cristiano Ronaldo faces this kind of trouble. Players like Messi, who come from the prestigious La Masia Academy, also have such rumors surrounding them. Many teammates have asked me if I will leave Manchester City. My agent told me that there is never a definitive answer to such matters. I know the reason, so I initially told them that I don't know what the future holds. Chapter 5:13. The AS newspaper has a clear viewpoint, believing that the selection of the Ballon d'Or is conducted by journalists from football associations around the world, making it highly representative and fair. There may be some subjective factors, but it represents the overall opinion of all football associations globally. Whoever wins the Ballon d'Or will have different voices. Cristiano Ronaldo absolutely deserves it. The Catalan national newspaper harshly criticized Real Madrid, reiterating its viewpoint that the Ballon d'Or is a competition between Florentino and other players. Zhao's exclusion from the Ballon d'Or this time is completely a robbery. It's a crime. This kind of manipulation undermines world football, making the sport less pure. Germany's Bild did not criticize Real Madrid. They believe that the organization hosting the Ballon d'Or, France Football, should be disbanded. No wonder FIFA's World Footballer of the Year wants to distance itself from the Ballon d'Or. FIFA has long realized that there are issues with the voting mechanism of the Ballon d'Or. This is the first year of their cooperation ending, and such problems have already arisen. This is a blatant case of extortion. Italy's Milan Sports News stated that Super Zhao's criticism of the Ballon d'Or is wrong. Chapter 5:14. Liverpool's performance in the Premier League has been erratic, and the rebuilding Reds often drop points against weaker teams. However, when facing Manchester City, they always strike back hard. Last season, Manchester City had an unstoppable trend in the Premier League, and they didn't gain much advantage against Liverpool. This time, Manchester City's away game at Anfield made Klopp feel a sense of despair. Manchester City erupted with fierce fighting spirit. After taking a 2-0 lead in the first half, Manchester City remained strong in the second half, ultimately winning 5-1 against Liverpool. This is the largest margin of victory Manchester City has achieved in over 100 years of history against Liverpool. And it is also Liverpool's most painful defeat in the league in nearly a decade. In this match, Zhao performed normally, scoring 3 goals and tearing apart Liverpool's already unstable defense. Klopp's proud high pressing appeared to be struggling under the coordination of De Bruyne, Zhao, and Gundogan. Liverpool's core Coutinho, in a high-paced confrontation, seemed lost like a child on the field. He made 8 mistakes throughout the match, and being on the left flank, he coincidentally encountered Zhao, who replaced Sterling as the right winger. By the end, Coutinho didn't even dare to attack with the ball, quickly passing it back after receiving it, fearing that Zhao, who had come back, would snatch the ball away. Chapter 5:15. What kind of personality does Zhao have? Once words are spoken, they are like water poured out. He has publicly questioned the Ballon d'Or and told everyone during a live broadcast that even if he wins the Ballon d'Or in the future, he will not attend the awards ceremony. He has officially severed ties with the Ballon d'Or. How could he have an ambiguous attitude and reconcile with France football? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. From now on, every season, I will score fiercely and win matches decisively. The entire sky over Europe will turn Manchester City's blue. No player's performance can surpass mine. In every year's Ballon d'Or selection, I will receive the most votes. When it comes to the award ceremony, I will go to participate in interview programs and see who the Ballon d'Or is awarded to. Oh, France football has a way to exclude Zhao from the list and choose another Ballon d'Or winner. I wonder who will have the face to go on stage and take the Ballon d'Or. After every Ballon d'Or ceremony, there will be a group of media coming out to watch the joke. Zhao rejected France football's invitation. Perrin couldn't do anything about it. Perrin didn't want to see this result. The influence of the Ballon d'Or is deeply rooted, and the reason it has caused such a stir is entirely due to Zhao's status. Chapter 5:16. When Zhao entered the field holding the Manchester City flag for the first time, as Company said, the fans at Etihad have waited too long for this moment. The moment Zhao publicly expressed that he would always stay at Manchester City, the fans began to anticipate. Zhao is destined to become a legendary figure and the emblem of Manchester City. The Manchester City king only truly lives up to his name when he puts on a captain's armband. In the VIP box of the stands, 7 wealthy individuals stood in front of the window with cloth on their heads, applauding together with the fans at Etihad Stadium. The cheers of support outside made the mouths of those inside smile widely. Thank you, France football. Thank you, Ballon d'Or. 100 million a year. Chinese people always do business so straightforwardly. Back then, the wealthy spent a bit of money to bring back so many national treasures from China. Now, they used some bank deposit interest to leave behind the third-generation king of football. Everywhere in the stands, there were banners supporting Zhao. This is Manchester City's first home game after the Ballon d'Or award ceremony. Looking up, one can see numerous red flags waving. Zhao's interview not only severed ties with the Ballon d'Or, but also involved 2 other important matters. Chapter 5:17. Every FIFA president needs to do one thing: compete with UEFA. European football is becoming stronger and more influential, leading to a significant reduction in FIFA's voice. Infantino needs to enhance FIFA's influence in various aspects. He even considered holding the World Cup every 2 years. This time, Infantino's statement is not to stand up for Zhao, but to hope to use this opportunity to show world fans FIFA's fairness and justice. They will speak up for every player who suffers injustice. Zhao is an extremely outstanding player. I think he is one of the best players in the world. His performance last season deserves any praise and any award. I have watched his performance over the past 2.5 years. My goodness, I have never seen a player with such talent. It's hard to imagine that a player like him missed out on some awards for certain reasons. Even harder to imagine is that a player like him missed the World Cup, which happens every 4 years. This is unfair to him, unfair to the fans, and of course, unfair to all the excellent players who missed the World Cup. We are working hard. hoping to find a way for Zhao and players who have experienced similar situations to have the opportunity to appear on the highest stage of the football world. Chapter 518. In the first round of the FA Cup this season, Arsenal drew Manchester City. This is not good news for them. Arsenal fans are increasingly dissatisfied with the team's performance, and many extreme fans are angrily cursing Wenger and management. With no hope of winning the league, and being unable to compete with other giants in the Champions League, Wenger can only rely on the FA Cup to save himself each year. Without a championship last year, if this year continues without any achievements, Wenger may not be able to keep his position. A piece of good news for Wenger is that this round of the FA Cup is being held at the Emirates Stadium, giving them a slightly better chance to defeat Manchester City at home. Before the match, Wenger gave fans a warning to prepare for the possibility of losing, to prevent them from being too harsh in their criticism. We still have strong competitiveness in the league, and we topped our group in the Champions League. This season we have maintained very good form. We are full of competitiveness. Manchester City has not lost for a long time, and they may have the best players in the world. We can accept any result. After the Club World Cup, we all know that something happened that made Manchester City's core player Zhao become more mature and stronger. Chapter 519. Arsenal suffered the biggest defeat in their history. In the Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, and Champions League, they have never lost like this before. At the Emirates Stadium, they lost 0, conceding a total of 8 goals. Zhao scored 6 goals in this match, breaking the single-match goal record for the FA Cup. An 8-goal deficit is also the largest margin of defeat in FA Cup history for a top league team. Arsenal not only created a new record for their team, but also set a new record for the FA Cup. In the final stages of the match, the fans who remained at the Emirates Stadium could no longer stand. They were also unable to shout. All that was left was deep despair. Arsenal fans, who were holding banners and cursing Zhao as a traitor, had long since left the stadium. Now they were at home, venting their anger online. But not at Zhao anymore, but at the professor. In the drizzling rain, Professor Wenger trembled as he slowly turned around. That desolate figure was heart-wrenching to behold. Wenger's era has long passed. He just wasn't willing to give up, wanting to continue supporting Arsenal. The rain continued to fall, and the camera focused on the field. Zhao looked up at the sky, realizing that London's weather was just as dreary as Manchester's. Chapter 520. After the match, Wenger left immediately. He did not accept any interviews from reporters. The old man was very frustrated and very angry. Zhao gave him no face at all. Not only did he not give face, but he also played exceptionally hard, turning Arsenal into a pile of mess. Arsenal supporters were so angry they could not say a word. That night, many Arsenal fans could not even eat. They gathered on the streets of London, surrounding the Emirates Stadium, shouting for Wenger to step down. They could only blame all the faults on Wenger. The next day, Wenger, in a better mood, accepted an interview. He elaborated on his contributions to Arsenal and the reasons for the defeat in this match. He took all the failures upon himself. The Wenger in front of the camera still looked a bit weary. In the end, he found some excuses for himself. This Manchester City team, with its configuration and tactical style, surpasses other Premier League teams. This team seems to be 5 to 10 years ahead of all other Premier League teams. Arsenal did lose, and I cannot absolve myself of responsibility, but I believe that no Premier League team can defeat a fully focused Manchester City in a cup match. The only ones who can defeat them are themselves, through mistakes or fatigue. Chapter 521. UEFA officials did not directly state anything. It was just some insider information that was leaked. This is typical of the no-blame mentality. Until things are concluded, UEFA officials will not easily take action. In case of any mistakes, the official side still has room for maneuver. However, UEFA is being secretive. The South American Football Confederation, on the other hand, is straightforward. They directly released an announcement through official channels, warmly welcoming Zhao to join. It was very brief, but impactful. They specifically translated it into English and Mandarin and posted it on their official website. This news quickly spread to Europe. The foolish UEFA doesn't dare to openly recruit talent. UEFA shows no sincerity. Super Zhao should just join Brazil or Argentina. UEFA is all about profit, giving the Ballon d'Or to Ronaldo while being too proud to admit it. Leaking insider information like a pile of garbage. The big shots at the AFC went crazy. Hey, Asia has finally produced a once-in-a-millennium genius. FIFA has already stated they want to find a way. UEFA and the South American Football Confederation have started to compete for talent. We cannot do nothing. This is the best opportunity to enhance the influence of Asian football. Chapter 522. FIFA's headquarters is located in Zurich. Zurich is the largest city in Switzerland and also the wealthiest city in Europe. It is not only an important cultural center in Europe, but also one of the largest financial centers in the world. Due to the development of the Swiss banking industry, this city is truly a billionaire metropolis. Due to its policy of perpetual neutrality, a large number of wealthy individuals and institutions deposit their funds in Swiss banks. Of course, it has been proven that this principle of neutrality is just a facade. It is merely a golden exterior fabricated by capitalists. Manchester City has really invested heavily this time. At the Ballon d'Or ceremony, not a single member of the Manchester City team was present, including Guardiola, who had already been confirmed as the best coach. They clearly expressed their stance. This time, at FIFA's invitation, key players from Manchester City, including Guardiola, came to Zurich with Zhao. It was a show of support for Zhao. Prior to this, FIFA had already announced the final 3 nominees for the World Footballer of the Year: Zhao, Ronaldo, and Messi. This was exactly the same as the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or. Messi was very certain he would not win the World Footballer of the Year, but he still accepted the invitation to attend the award ceremony. Chapter 523. The enthusiasm of the media and fans far exceeded the organizers' expectations. The craziness of these fans left the organizers unable to understand. Zhao has now attracted a large number of fans not only because of his honors, abilities, and character. Under the intentional and unintentional shaping by various media, he has also become a symbolic figure against injustice and discrimination. When he told everyone in front of the media that he would no longer attend the Ballon d'Or ceremony, it was a powerful rebuttal to authority and capital, making him a faith for some groups. This is football, and it is more than just football. The security personnel, who had been prepared long in advance, blocked the fans outside. Zhao saw many Manchester City fans outside, shouting wildly. What moved him was that there were also many local Wolverhampton fans, wearing red jerseys with the number 19, who had traveled from England to Switzerland, supporting him unconditionally. Upon arriving in Zurich, Zhao walked the red carpet with Perrin. During this time, he stopped several times to sign autographs and take photos with some fans. Zhao, Super Zhao, will you return to Wolverhampton? Will you? Excited young fans waved special portraits belonging to Zhao. Chapter 524-2030. The FIFA award ceremony officially begins. The first award announced is a heavyweight one, the World Professional Footballers Union Annual Best 11. The judges are nearly 60,000 members of the World Professional Footballers Union, voting in a traditional 4-3-3 formation. The award presenter is an Asian player from the land of cherry blossoms, Hideyoshi Nakata. Infantino initially wanted to find a retired Chinese national player to serve as the presenter, but after searching, he couldn't find anyone particularly suitable. Among the Chinese national players, there really hasn't been anyone who made a special contribution to world football. If they were to force a Chinese national player, someone would surely jump out and say that it was because of Zhao that FIFA found a Chinese player. Nakato's English is decent, and after chatting with the 2 hosts, the best 11 is revealed. The goalkeeper is Neuer. The 4 defenders are Alves, Peak, Kompany, and Marcelo. The 3 midfielders are Modric, Iniesta, and David Silva. The 3 forwards are Messi, Ronaldo, and Zhao. Manchester City, having won 7 championships, only has 3 players selected for the best 11, while Barcelona and Real Madrid, with not many honors, have a majority selected. Chapter 525. The atmosphere at the venue reached a small climax. Meanwhile, discussions among fans worldwide also peaked. The Ballon d'Or is indeed garbage. Not going is the right choice. Don't hold the Ballon d'Or anymore. On such a big stage, is it inappropriate to sarcastically comment on the Ballon d'Or? Yeah. Isn't it disrespectful to the Ballon d'Or? Isn't that slapping countless stars in the face? Wasn't it the Ballon d'Or that first slapped Zhao in the face? I absolutely adore Super Zhao. When there were controversies in previous Ballon d'Ors, those stars only dared to curse in their hearts. Who would dare to stand up and openly criticize? Exactly. Cherishing reputation and benefits, not daring to confront. Do they still deserve to play football? Do they still deserve to be called men? A bunch of cowards. Only Super Zhao deserves to be my idol. The Ballon d'Or didn't treat Super Zhao with respect. Why should Super Zhao indulge it? The King Zhao has already given it a lot of face. Not calling the Ballon d'Or a piece of crap is already lucky for it. Support Super Zhao. If he doesn't go next year, let's see how the Ballon d'Or is evaluated. Winning the Ballon d'Or, but not attending the award ceremony. Others can accept it on his behalf. It would be interesting if King Zhao directly says he doesn't recognize the Ballon d'Or. Chapter 526. Zhao, he looked at Maradona on stage. The second-generation king of football. Zhao, he did not experience Maradona's era. He only heard about how strong he was. Most fans and players today have not seen Maradona's greatness. However, these fans are lucky. They can witness a player even stronger than Maradona playing football. Of course, for players, it is a blessing as well as a misfortune. After Guardiola finished his acceptance speech and came down from the stage, Zhao took the initiative to stand up, and the two embraced. The cameras captured the moment, and the applause in the venue erupted. Next, it was the award for the king of futsal, Falcao, for his lifetime achievement. In futsal, Falcao is indeed the undisputed #1 in the world. He had played formal football, but if we don't talk about technique, just his physical fitness was not up to par. He simply could not keep up with the speed and rhythm of professional football. However, true professional players can easily excel in futsal. Neymar can easily dominate most players on a futsal court. Although indoor futsal has the word football in its name, it is really two different sports compared to football. This 5-time Indoor World Footballer Award winner receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award is indeed well-deserved. Chapter 527. The guests on site and the fans watching the live broadcast relaxed their tense hearts. These two old guys still playing this trick? The applause at the venue thundered. This is Zhao Yi's second time receiving this award. Zhao Yi walked onto the stage. After hugging Ronaldo and Gerrard, the two simultaneously held the trophy and handed it to Zhao Yi. Ronaldo finally found an opportunity to explain, "We should indeed be shocked. Yes, we are not being cryptic. This time it is not the Puskas Best Goal Award, but the best player. There is no single spectacular goal, only the player of the most spectacular goals. So of course, we will be surprised." Gerrard added, "Fans voted all their ballots for Zhao Yi's spectacular goal. This is history, so this award also sets a precedent. We should congratulate Zhao Yi." After Ronaldo finished speaking, he clapped his hands vigorously. The applause in the venue erupted again. Zhao Yi quietly watched the two. So, these two already knew the result before opening the envelope. They were still being cryptic, creating suspense. The Puskas Award would select enough spectacular goal moments, and, finally, fans would vote for the top 10. Chapter 528. Now, it is definitely the focus of the world. If Zhao Yi wins the Ballon d'Or, then this world footballer title has almost lost all suspense. Zhao Yi's performance and honors are definitely unparalleled this season. The result, after votes from reporters from various countries, was shocking. Ronaldo, with his victory in the European Championship, won the Ballon d'Or. On the day of Zhao Yi's Ballon d'Or, he was unreservedly breaking away from the Ballon d'Or. After that, various media outlets bombarded the scene, comparing Zhao Yi's and Ronaldo's data and honors, describing the Ballon d'Or as a joke. German media has directly brought out the word discrimination. This time, it truly touched the reverse scale of many people. Not only the coaches and players, but even the team's management stood up to speak. Under immense pressure, the official reason given for the Ballon d'Or was very specific. The selection of the Ballon d'Or not only considers a player's performance from the previous season, but also takes into account the overall impact of their entire career. This move did not quell the public's anger. Instead, it prompted FIFA, UEFA, CONMEBOL, and the AFC to speak out, spreading the issue from Europe to the entire football world. The Ballon d'Or, as the highest personal honor alongside the World Footballer of the Year, has welcomed its first Asian player and first Chinese player after 25 years of its establishment. Zhao Yi broke the record set by Ronaldo for the youngest World Footballer of the Year. At 19 years old, Zhao Yi was the brightest star in the entire opera house. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Maradona all appeared dim in comparison at this moment. Messi looked up at Zhao Yi, his eyes filled with a smile. At the peak of his career, he likely still has 3 to 5 more years of prime performance ahead. However, now Messi feels that it might be very difficult for him to win the World Footballer of the Year again. This young genius is unstoppable in becoming the best in the world. As he said, European giants can only compete for second place, and all players can only aspire to be second. Following the excitement, Neymar, who had come to join the fun, couldn't hold back and shouted, clapping his hands vigorously. The geniuses called out by Zhao Yi also applauded with all their might. Messi's smile was radiant, awesome, one of a kind in this world. You can no longer find a player who dares to tell the world in such an occasion that all outstanding players must look up to him. Just like ordinary people view geniuses, these exceptional stars also had to look up to him. Cristiano Ronaldo also joined in the applause, but then seemed to realize that it wasn't about how amazing he was, but rather how amazing Zhao was. However, the warm atmosphere had already taken over the venue, and Ronaldo could only continue to clap along. Neymar, De Bruyne, and Aguero all stood up, continuously applauding. From the back row to the front, all the guests stood up one by one, clapping madly. This was the first time someone received a standing ovation while their acceptance speech was still ongoing. Helen's head was about to explode. Oh my God, I've never been so excited and happy. This is even more thrilling than winning 7 championships and being the top scorer. It's not because I received votes from the judges. I never needed recognition from professionals because you all just made the most objective and correct choice. I don't know what was said, but I saw Cristiano Ronaldo's face turn red for the first time. The entire audience stood up. How great it is for our country to have a player like Zhao. Zhao is the embodiment of my faith. I have imagined this scene countless times. Becoming the focus of the world, becoming the focus of all players. He did it. It's as if I did it too. In the past, the atmosphere was filled with insults and curses, but today everyone has united. Yes, slander, cursing, and curses are gone. Only a thriving atmosphere remains, brothers. It feels good to stand up. Huskers, World Footballer of the Year, Best 11. The 3 awards at today's FIFA ceremony truly belong to Zhao. It is also a real feast for us Chinese fans. Do they even know you? You self-absorbed group? I don't know what happened, but during such a good event, there are always those seeking attention. If I had known the fighting power of friends in the football circle, it far exceeds that of other circles. This foolish attention seeker was immediately besieged and went home crying to find his mother. Ronaldo smiled very happily, showing his big teeth and hugging Zhao tightly. Talent comes in waves, and Zhao has broken the record for the youngest World Footballer of the Year. The reporters' cameras followed this new football king, who has taken Europe and Asia by storm and will undoubtedly become a global sensation. After shaking hands with Zhao, Ronaldo posed for a photo with him in front of the camera. Both gave a thumbs up, with Ronaldo grinning widely, while Zhao maintained a kind expression without much of a smile. Last time, he needed to rely on Ronaldo's fame. Now he stands on his own. Messi, who usually doesn't like to take the initiative to take photos with others due to his personality, this time found Zhao with Neymar. Neymar really adores this young man. Zhao Yi's speech expressed what Ronaldo wanted to say, but didn't dare to. Neymar couldn't even imagine such a beautiful and shocking statement existed in the world. Congratulations. Congratulations. Messi congratulated Zhao on winning the World Footballer of the Year. This is the honor of the World Footballer of the Year. Neymar shouted, "Yes, I brought this trophy back, this trophy that symbolizes the highest personal honor in football. Just like this time, in the coming years, you all must stand up once a year to cheer for me, applaud for me, and salute me." Aguero tilted his head, squinting his eyes and clapping hard. The crowd at Etihad erupted in excitement. Mansour, with his mouth agape, listened to the roaring cheers outside, sending chills down his spine. He clapped continuously, turning to those around him, saying, "I like him so much. This is what a king is." No one dared to speak nearby. If such words got out, it would lead to big trouble. Guardiola stood on the sidelines, listening to Zhao Yi's powerful and confident voice. This is the power of language, the power of faith. No matter how crazy his words are, no one would doubt them. All the fans, everyone, can only worship and follow. I will bring 1, 2, 3 for championships to Manchester City with my teammates and brothers, no matter what. We will eliminate all opponents and leave that damn championship in Manchester. Chapter 534. After this match, Transfermarkt announced the latest player transfer value rankings. Zhao with a value of 3.2 billion euros, leads Neymar's 1.5 billion euros by a significant margin, becoming the undisputed number 1 in the world. The Transfermarkt valuation is merely a reference, and actual transfer fees are often much higher. No player has ever been valued over 200 million euros by Transfermarkt. Considering performance, age, and development potential, they reluctantly set Zhao Yi's value at 3.2 billion euros. This valuation is also symbolic. Everyone knows that even if you offer $1 billion, Manchester City won't sell Zhao Yi. Moreover, in the new contract between Manchester City and Zhao Yi, the club has given this football star full respect if Zhao Yi disagrees. Even 100 billion wouldn't be enough to take him away. There's also a special clause that makes one question the sanity of Manchester City's management. After Zhao, he has served Manchester City for 5 years. He can leave the club for free. The contract's value has not been disclosed, but some clauses have been leaked. Some say Manchester City is foolish, while others say they're spending a fortune to buy bones, aiming to build a true, human-centered century-old club. Chapter 535. The match became heated due to a conflict between Son Heung-min and Loris, something no one anticipated. After receiving a yellow card, Zhao began to wreak havoc on the left flank. If Tottenham's Kyle Walker hadn't transferred to Manchester City, they might have held up better on the right. Once Walker left, Trippier was no match for Zhao. This is a tactic, digging out the opponent's key players to reduce their competitiveness. The Bundesliga giant, Bayern Munich, understands this best. In the 36th minute, Tottenham made a mistake in the front, and Canny intercepted the ball. He found De Bruyne in the center. As De Bruyne advanced, he passed the ball behind Trippier. Trippier stretched out his hand, trying to block Zhao Yi's position. He forcefully pushed Zhao Yi's shoulder, but Zhao Yi exerted himself and knocked Trippier to the ground. If Trippier hadn't tried to block Zhao Yi, he would have been knocked down. Unfortunately, thinking of intercepting and preventing Zhao Yi from passing, he leaned his body towards Zhao Yi and was ruthlessly knocked over. Trippier rolled on the grass for 2 laps before getting up. Zhao Yi had already charged into the penalty area. One-on-one chance. Chapter 536. Manchester City won the FA Cup away match 3-0 against Crystal Palace. Zhao Yi was on the bench and did not play. In the league away match, they defeated West Ham United 4-0, with Zhao Yi playing for 60 minutes and scoring 2 goals, easily securing the win. In the League Cup semi-final second leg, they won 3-0 against Hull City to advance to the finals. Maguire did not defend Zhao Yi this time. Zhao Yi, staying on the wing, scored twice. He was in excellent form. This season, Zhao Yi has not experienced the slump he had last season, growing more courageous with each match. He led Manchester City to dominate the Premier League. In the subsequent 2 Premier League matches, Manchester City won 4-1 at home and 2-0 away against Swansea and Bournemouth, respectively. After winning 2-0 against Huddersfield in the FA Cup, Manchester City was thriving in all 3 competitions. Unfortunately, under the dense schedule, the team still faced injury problems. Stones returned from injury, but got hurt again. Right back Kyle Walker also suffered an injury, likely requiring a month of recovery. The good news is that there were no injuries in Manchester City's midfield and forward lines. Only the defense faced some issues. Next, Manchester City will have 2 relatively important matches, one against Monaco in the Champions League and the other in the League Cup final against Southampton. Chapter 537. England fans have already started discussing the squad for the 2018 World Cup. Zhao Yi will definitely be in the team. They have begun to fantasize about winning the World Cup. After seeing these heated discussions, the FA quickly clarified. They are currently contacting Zhao Yi through various channels, and Zhao Yi himself has not yet expressed his intention to join the England national team. Why such urgency? Because they fear misunderstandings. They are worried Zhao Yi might think England is morally pressuring him. Who is Zhao Yi? He is someone who dared to sever ties with the Ballon d'Or and declared himself the best in the world on the FIFA awards stage. If the FA allows these rumors to spread without clarification, it would definitely turn Zhao Yi off. Zhao Yi, who originally had a very good impression of English football, might get upset and leave. That would be a significant loss. The French Football Federation, seeing the situation, thought, "Oh, there's been no official announcement, but you speak so confidently. We must welcome Zhao Yi to join us. He is truly a player who can lead a team to seize 7 championships. Whether France needs such a player or not, they can't just watch him join a rival." The French Football Federation followed suit, supporting FIFA's regulations, and stated that they are in contact with Deschamps to discuss the possibility of Zhao Yi joining French football. Chapter 538. During this period, a significant news broke from Japan. For Zhao Yi, it wasn't exactly positive news, but also didn't have a substantial negative impact. Japanese media uncovered that during the Club World Cup, Kyle Walker and Zhao Yi went out to find some ladies. This caused quite a stir in Japan. Originally, after watching Zhao Yi's divine performance at the Club World Cup, Japanese fans had lost all hope for him to serve their national team. A player like this would not choose to play for an Asian team. Once this news broke, Japanese fans suddenly felt hopeful. Because in the Champions League and European Super Cup, Zhao Yi had been to Germany, Italy, Spain, France, and Norway without any such gossip. Only in Japan did this news emerge. What does this indicate? It indicates that Zhao likes Japanese girls. The gentle, understanding, and well-behaved Japanese girls deeply attract Zhao. We should not only recruit Zhao, but also ensure that Zhao Yi's genes remain here. This way, the next generation will have excellent football players. That's right. Zhao will not change his nationality, but his children can still grow up to be superstars and serve us. Chapter 539. Before Manchester City's match against Monaco. The media interviewed Zhao. The most concerning topic, of course, was which national team Zhao would join under the genius clause. Zhao stated that he hasn't made up his mind yet. I really haven't thought it through, and if I do think it through and you ask, I will definitely answer. There's nothing to hide. Zhao answered very straightforwardly. The reporter was also tactful and did not continue to press. Instead, symbolically asking about the Champions League match. We are certainly confident about winning the match. Our goal is very clear, to defend our Champions League title. Monaco is a young team with strong attacking power, very much like us last season. But they want to create the same miracles as we did. Why? Because I am not in the Monaco squad. Zhao gave a very straightforward reason. Monaco participates in Ligue 1, but Monaco is not actually a French team. This team was established by the royal family of the Principality of Monaco, and since the Principality is too small with few domestic teams, the Monaco team chose to join the French League. Monaco has historically won the Ligue 1 championship and the French Cup. Chapter 540. Principality of Monaco, Louis II Stadium. Manchester City plays the knockout round, first away then at home. Scoring an away goal is a significant advantage. Louis II Stadium can only accommodate 20,000 fans. During League 1 matches, the stadium is nearly full, but for the Champions League match, there aren't enough seats. In the stands, many young and beautiful female fans enthusiastically wave at the camera, displaying bright smiles. Accompanied by various colored smoke, the unique romance of France is indeed eye-catching. In the player tunnel, Zhao, as the captain of Manchester City, shook hands and hugged Mbappe. The rookie Mbappe is a year younger than Zhao and has been dominating in League 1 this season, similar to how Zhao was when he first entered the Premier League. However, League 1 is still a tier below the Premier League. Zhao couldn't help but ruffle Mbappe's hair. Everyone knows that Mbappe's head is off limits. He gets angry even if teammates touch his head. This time, Mbappe did not get angry and looked at Zhao with admiration, like a little fanboy. In the stands, Pelland was already sitting with Mbappe's father. Chapter 541. On the right, Bernardo Silva quickly took a tactical corner. Sabiti followed up and lobbed the ball into the penalty area. Kompany positioned himself and headed the ball out of the box. Fabinho won the second ball. He rarely shoots, so he immediately passed the ball to Mendy. Mendy carried the ball sideways to create space and passed it to Lamar. Lamar flicked a pass. The ball went over David Silva and landed at Mbappe's feet. Monaco's play was very proactive after the opening. During this period, Manchester City's defense was under heavy pressure. Lamar, Bernardo Silva, Mbappe, and Mendy's coordination was very tacit. Lamar's pass allowed Mbappe, positioned at the edge of the left penalty area, to find an opportunity for a shot. Sagna's positioning and defense completely missed Mbappe. Wow, the shot had power with an ordinary angle, but the speed was too fast. This violent shot still opened the door for Manchester City. For minutes into the game, Monaco led Manchester City 1-0 at home. Mbappe scored. After the goal, Mbappe turned around and slid on his knees in excitement. The fans on site erupted. Chapter 542. At first, they thought it was just an ordinary clearance. A bit stronger, it was a decent pass. Aguero was blocked by Kimmelson and Raji, making it impossible to receive this pass. Subasic stood just outside the penalty area, easily able to catch the ball. As the football crossed half the field and continued to fly forward, they sensed something was slightly off. The world is too crazy. Someone shot in their own penalty area. It wasn't an own goal. Unlike those foolish groundhog defenders in Europe, Zhao is a genuine forward, able to distinguish between his own goal and the opponent's goal. This shot, directly spanning the entire field, connected the two penalty areas, was a real shot on goal. Subasic, standing outside the penalty area, watched the ball fly towards a goal behind him and turned to run. In a panic, he stumbled, and in a last-ditch effort, he jumped towards the goal, hoping to touch the not-so-fast ball. But that was ultimately just his fantasy. The football slowed down and descended. It nearly grazed the crossbar and fell into the goal. This was a shot from the penalty area towards the opponent's goal. The ball went in. Zhao Yi, with a direct lob from almost the goal line. Chapter 543. Mbappe won a penalty and proactively wanted to take it. However, Falcao did not give up the penalty-taking rights. Mbappe, eager to score more goals and show his performance in this match, felt somewhat disappointed. But he didn't show too much dissatisfaction. The penalty-taking rights had been decided long ago by the team. Having been at Monaco for just over a year, Mbappe had stellar performances. But his status in the team was not as high as Falcao's. He could only step out of the penalty area, with Falcao scoring the penalty. Monaco led Manchester City 2-1 at home. This excited the Monaco fans immensely. Almost all Manchester City players were out of form in this match. Due to the intense season schedule, the players' physical condition was problematic. There was also another reason. The strong Manchester City had not experienced failure for a long time. Moreover, after winning 7 championships, the players' mentality had changed. They were no longer as motivated as before. Recently, Zhao had many off-field issues, and it was impossible for his mindset and form not to be affected. As the on-field captain of Manchester City, Zhao Yi's fluctuating state indeed impacted his teammates' fighting spirit. Manchester City repeatedly made mistakes in coordination in the front, allowing Monaco to seize several opportunities. Chapter 544. With the whistle blowing, the first half of the match ended. Monaco, hosting at home, led Manchester City 3-1. This half was a dream come true for them. The young Mbappe not only scored 2 goals, but also won a penalty. On the left wing, he completely overwhelmed Sagna in the first half. Sagna, as a key rotation player for Manchester City, started as the right back due to Kyle Walker's absence. His performance was nothing short of disastrous. Not only were the 2 goals directly related to him, but Otamendi's foul in the penalty area was also due to his failure to mark properly. Manchester City's right flank became Monaco's corridor, allowing Mbappe to play as he wished. City's players were not in form offensively. Aguero was nearly invisible, and De Bruyne, occupying the left flank, was not suited to his position. Zhao Yi's performance also showed some fluctuations. Monaco's targeted defense greatly reduced City's attacking power in the front line, leading to chaos in midfield. If it weren't for Zhao Yi's stunning shot, Monaco would have already been 3 goals up. In this match, Monaco's performance in both attack and defense was impeccable. Their targeted defense disconnected the link between Zhao Yi and Aguero while also cutting off the direct connection between Gundogan, Silva, and Zhao Yi. Chapter 545. We are indeed looking forward to this World Footballer of the Year's excellent performance in the full-back position. Jardim looked at Zhao Yi's position, momentarily confused. Guardiola is known for his tricks throughout the football world. But can he really pull off something like this? Guardiola stood expressionless on the sidelines, observing the situation on the field. After Monaco kicked off, both sides had exchanged several attacks, but none posed a threat. After Gundogan took a shot from outside the box, Monaco began their attack. Zhao Yi, standing near the center line, did not push forward. Instead, he directed his teammates' movements. He instructed Otamendi to mark the center and not to support the flanks. Lamar might penetrate from the flank into the center to receive the ball. Otamendi retreated down the middle. Behind Zhao Yi, there was a large gap on the right flank. After Bernardo Silva received the ball, he immediately looked for a pass behind him. As long as Mbappe ran fast enough, it could result in a one-on-one situation. Faced with Zhao Yi's defense, Mbappe was even more excited than in the first half. He was eager to prove himself and even more eager to defeat his idol fairly. Mbappe, standing nearly parallel to Zhao Yi in the attacking direction, received a high ball from Bernardo Silva. Chapter 546. 2-3. Pulling one back made the game more tense and exciting. Monaco still chose not to defend too passively, with the players on the field in high spirits. This is the advantage of youth. This team, full of fighting spirit, resembled last season's Manchester City. No one backs down. They attack fiercely when they encounter each other. They still opted for the left flank, with Mbappe facing Zhao one-on-one. Is there an opportunity? Mbappe received the ball on the left side of the penalty area. Zhao, he stood in front of him, not rushing to tackle. In this one-on-one defense, if he lost his position, Mbappe could easily carry the ball into the penalty area. Unless facing amateur players, one can tackle recklessly. Professional players with skill and speed only need one flaw to break through successfully. Mbappe lightly tapped the ball with his left foot, bringing it next to his dominant foot. Although Zhao was not a defender by trade, The direct matchup between these two players was full of intrigue. If Mbappe could get past Zhao directly, it would be a moment of fame. The newly crowned footballer, the 19-year-old Footballer of the Year, what an enviable achievement. Get past the Footballer of the Year, and you become the Footballer of the Year. Chapter 547. The ball was passed back to Mbappe. Monaco's midfield had great trust in him. This was probably a special arrangement for today. Mbappe had always been an explosive player on the flank, and Monaco's style of play heavily relied on his dribbling ability and Falcao's finishing ability. After attracting defenders, Mbappe would pass the ball to Lemar or directly to Falcao. However, in this match, Mbappe had fewer passes and held onto the ball for too long. This time, Mbappe was very eager to prove himself. The young Mbappe was up against the youngest world footballer of the year. Having confidence is a good thing. This time, he did not break through from the left side of the penalty area. Instead, he fully entered the left attacking zone. After receiving the ball, he still did not pass back, but kept his eyes on Zhao. Zhao stood not far from him, leaving a certain gap. If he got too close, Mbappe, with strong evasion ability, could easily shake off the defense and charge forward. This time, Gundogan had no intention of helping. He stood in the center, trying to cut off the passing connections between Mbappe and the midfield players. Lemar moved up, ready to receive Mbappe's pass at any moment. Mbappe took a deep breath. Chapter 548. Sterling charged into the penalty area and unleashed a powerful shot that hit the crossbar with a loud clang. He missed a golden opportunity to take the lead. Guardiola directly knelt on the sidelines. Pulling 2 goals back to equalize and potentially taking the lead would undoubtedly change the morale for both sides. Raggi headed the ball out successfully. Fabinho passed the ball to Bernardo Silva. Silva, entangled with Kanté, slowed down his advance and failed to clear the ball. This gave City players time to retreat. Originally at the edge of the opponent's penalty area, Zhao had already sprinted back to near the center line. After Bernardo Silva and Sibity combined and cleared the ball, it was passed to Lemar. Zhao had returned to his defensive zone. Lemar delivered a long ball targeting the space behind Zhao. This was an attacking player's tactic. Once it penetrated, it could lead to a one-on-one situation with high rewards. Mbappe accelerated and started sprinting. Zhao initiated from inside, rushing over. He firmly positioned himself in front of Mbappe. Mbappe, seeing the ball slowly rolling forward through Zhao, realized he couldn't reach it. Behind Zhao, Mbappe pushed against Zhao Yi's waist, but Zhao Yi's core strength was too strong. And Mbappe could only push Zhao Yi forward slowly, watching Ederson come rushing over, leading 2 goals towards the left flank. Chapter 549. The Manchester City fans on site erupted, and the City fans throughout Manchester immediately cheered. In the bars, those fans who had been frustrated the entire first half finally released their emotions in the second half. 3 consecutive goals left Monaco's fans silent. Another goal from Zhao breaking the baseline, providing an assist for De Bruyne to score the go-ahead goal. There was still time, and Monaco had the chance to equalize. The 2 Monaco commentators were not in good spirits, going from elation to sighing in disappointment. From the joy of defeating Manchester City to the hope of merely equalizing. Mbappe was tightly restricted. He really should look for some opportunities on the right flank. Falcao had hardly made an impact except for a penalty. They couldn't keep stubbornly attacking the left flank. Monaco's fans fell silent, and the dark clouds dissipated. Those waiting for Manchester City's downfall got this result. Manchester City is still better than Monaco. Monaco's experience is lacking, and the players seem to have lost their direction as the game progressed. There are constant issues on the defensive end, and no changes were made in the attack. Still fixated on the left side. This style of play is not effective. No wonder Paris reported Zhao for possible doping. There's an issue with the stamina. Chapter 550. The conflict between Falcao and Mbappe left Monaco's players feeling unsettled. Mbappe seemed to be losing his composure and lost the desire to break through after receiving the ball. In the 89th minute, Manchester City organized an attack. After a series of passes in the front, Gundogan passed the ball to Zhao Yi, who had moved to the right side of the penalty area. Bakayoko was a bit dazed. Although he performed well throughout the match, he failed to keep up when Zhao Yi took a shot. Without any blocks or interference, Zhao Yi reached his familiar position. In his area, he unleashed a powerful shot. The score was rewritten again. 5-3. After falling behind by 2 goals, Manchester City came back with 4 consecutive goals. With a 5-goal advantage away from home, they have the upper hand in the 2-legged tie. A hat trick. Zhao, throughout all Champions League matches, averaged 3 goals per game, and scored 3 goals in each match. Even when playing in defense, he consistently contributed goals. At the same time, he locked down Monaco's left side. We indeed witnessed his performance, which was almost perfect. He was a bit distracted in the first half. In the second half, he regained his form. He truly deserves the title of World Footballer of the Year. The commentator for Monaco, upon seeing this scene, really couldn't find any more negatives to point out. Chapter 551. After returning to England, Manchester City began preparations for the upcoming EFL Cup final against Southampton. Southampton's strength is average, and almost all media outlets believe Manchester City will defend their EFL Cup title, claiming their first championship of the year. The EFL Cup has always been seen as less prestigious, but it still counts as a trophy. Since they made it to the final, Manchester City has no reason not to strive for it. During the preparation for the EFL Cup match, Perrin went to Norway to find Holland. Meanwhile, he also collected some fan comments and official media updates from China. Zhao, he received a particularly interesting message. A minor leader from a subsidiary department of the Chinese Football Association, during a media interview, said something very interesting. We are all working hard, diligently doing our jobs. All our leaders and staff are brainstorming, hoping to make Chinese football better. We have introduced many policies to improve the domestic football atmosphere and foundation. In fact, we have indeed achieved this. Our league is becoming stronger, and fans are becoming more enthusiastic. Hung Tai Club won the AFC Champions League, which is the first Asian championship for Chinese football. Chapter 552, EFL Cup Final. Zhao Yi once again stood at Wembley Stadium. This place is practically Zhao Yi's third home ground, with the first 2 being the Etihad and Molineux stadiums. In this final, Kyle Walker was still absent. Southampton chose to employ a tactic almost identical to Monaco's, heavily attacking Manchester City's right side. The effect was quite good. In the 12th minute of the first half, Southampton took the lead using the flanks. In the 29th minute, David Silva assisted Aguero to equalize the score. In the final moments of the first half, Aguero made a play in the center, and Zhao Yi scored with a low-angle shot from the wing. Manchester City turned the score around, leading 2-1 at halftime. In the 62nd minute, Southampton pushed all their players forward and finally scored. The 2 teams were tied. Southampton showed their strongest fighting spirit in this final, making it a tough contest against Manchester City. In the 79th minute, Zhao Yi held the ball on the right, and after a series of brilliant combinations with Silva, he shook off a defender outside the penalty area and fired a powerful shot. 3-2. Manchester City regained the lead. In the following minutes, neither side managed to score again. In the last 5 minutes of the match, Southampton almost surrounded Manchester City. The excessive number of matches had indeed affected the overall condition of Manchester City's players. Chapter 553. Zhao Yi and Perrin arrived by special car in front of Buckingham Palace. Above Buckingham Palace, the royal flag was flying. If this flag is absent, it means the Queen is out for a stroll. If it is present, it means the Queen is right there. Such a glaring sign. Isn't the Queen afraid of being assassinated? Of course not. Why not? Because she's not afraid. In the square, statues abound, and the golden statue of the goddess of victory shines brightly. Above the statue of Queen Victoria, there's a golden angel. During Queen Victoria's time, the British royal family was different. She truly controlled the entire British Empire. Today's British royal family is always thinking about restoring their former glory. Buckingham Palace is ranked among the world's 5 great palaces alongside the Forbidden City, the White House, the Kremlin, and the Palace of Versailles. Unlike the other 4 palaces, Buckingham Palace is truly a residence for royal members, a private territory, rather than a government institution. Zhao Yi glanced at the majestic and glorious palace, which houses many artworks and cultural relics from China. How they get there? Of course, it's because another wasteful old lady couldn't keep her home. Chapter 554. This was not the first time the Queen invited players to Buckingham Palace. The last time was for Arsenal players. Because the Emirates Stadium was completed, the Queen had agreed to attend the ribbon-cutting ceremony, but unfortunately, due to some health issues, she could only send her son to represent her. Later, to express her apologies, the Queen invited all members of Arsenal to Buckingham Palace. That time was to make up for her small mistakes. This time, however, it was a completely warm invitation. For what? The Queen did not directly say at the dinner. She only wished Zhao Yi happiness in England. If there was anything, he could contact her. This was not just casual talk. A dedicated person had given Zhao Yi a contact number. If help was needed, of course, as long as it was reasonable, She could assist Zhao Yi. This was quite obvious. The queen could help him. Shouldn't he offer something in return first? Otherwise, why would she help him? Just because he plays well? Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi play well too. Why haven't they been invited to dinner? There have been so many outstanding players in the history of the Premier League, playing excellently and having great careers. Why haven't they come here? Chapter 555. In 2 rounds of the Premier League, Manchester City won 1-0 at home against Stoke City and 2-0 away against Sunderland. In the subsequent FA Cup match, Manchester City easily defeated Middlesbrough 2-0 away. After the League Cup final, Manchester City's attacking power has slightly declined. The good news is that all the main players have returned, with Kyle Walker and Stones starting in the FA Cup match. With Chelsea losing, Manchester City has now taken a 5-point lead despite having played 1 less match. The Premier League continues to be overshadowed by Manchester City, with other teams seeing no glimmer of hope for the title. Chelsea, without the Champions League and having given up on the League Cup, finds it difficult to keep pace with Manchester City in the league. Chelsea can only hope that in the next 2 league rounds, Manchester City will drop points against Liverpool and Arsenal before facing the challenge from Liverpool. Manchester City has another Champions League knockout match against Monaco, since Manchester City scored 5 goals away. Monaco would need to win by 3 goals or more to overturn the deficit, which is a significant challenge for a Monaco team that is currently in turmoil. Just last week, reports emerged that Monaco's owner is seeking to sell the club. Chapter 556. Nasser is not afraid of offending Messi and Ronaldo because these two will definitely not join Paris Saint-Germain. Real Madrid and Barcelona won't let them go. So can I assume you are pursuing Zhao? We are planning, but I cannot disclose specific recruitment details yet. This part of the interview instantly boosted the confidence of Paris Saint-Germain fans. Their disappointment with the team vanished overnight. 800 million. One summer window. The market value of top clubs certainly exceeds 800 million, but so far, no club has had a starting player valued at over 800 million euros. This means that ideally, this money is enough to build a brand new top team. What does this mean? Is Nasser planning to buy Monaco? How can that group of cast-offs be worth so much? From that tone, it seems he wants to buy Super Zhao. Super Zhao himself has said he will retire at Manchester City. A few days ago, Perrin said in an interview that when a person loses their challenging goals, they will leave to seek new challenges. Yes, I see Zhao Yi aiming for 7 titles this season. Chapter 557. Under the revelations from various professionals, the media confidently believes that Zhao Yi will join Paris Saint-Germain next season because of Perrin's previous ambiguous statements. The implication was clearly that Zhao Yi wants to accept new challenges. As for Zhao Yi saying he will stay at Manchester City, such statements are something almost every player has said. These are just workplace pleasantries. So many lovers who swore eternal love ended up going their separate ways, right? The comings and goings between players and clubs are very normal. Although Paris Saint-Germain is in Ligue 1, some analyses suggest it is particularly suitable for Zhao Yi. Paris Saint-Germain has money and can spend it extravagantly. Everyone they buy can revolve around Zhao Yi, and Zhao Yi can buy whoever he wants. All tactics can be tailored for him. Moreover, if he goes to Paris Saint-Germain, he will definitely attract many talented players to join. Additionally, this is definitely the challenge Perrin mentioned. Paris Saint-Germain has not made any breakthroughs in the Champions League, resembling Manchester City from before. If he can lead Paris Saint-Germain to win the Champions League, wouldn't that be the best proof? Because of these swirling rumors, Zhao Yi accepted an interview with the Manchester Evening News. Chapter 558. In the next 3 league matches, Manchester City will face Liverpool, Arsenal, and the direct title rival Chelsea. If Manchester City can navigate these 3 matches smoothly, Chelsea will almost lose hope of competing for the title in the league. Over the weekend, Liverpool gave their all at the Etihad, resulting in a hard-fought 2-2 draw against Manchester City. Klopp's tactical approach emphasizes quick rotation, which effectively counters Guardiola's tactics. After a grueling 90 minutes, Liverpool managed to hold Manchester City to a draw, slowing down Manchester City's momentum. Meanwhile, Chelsea secured a win against their opponent, narrowing the gap with Manchester City. However, Manchester City still leads by 3 points, having played 1 less match. For Chelsea to compete for the title, they not only need to win in direct confrontations, but also must avoid mistakes and wait for Manchester City to slip up. This is highly unlikely. Manchester City's stability in the league is even more formidable than in the Champions League. In a long season, It's better to rely on seizing opportunities than to hope for Manchester City to make mistakes. The probability of Manchester City making mistakes is far lower than Arsenal faltering. After the intense match against Liverpool, Manchester City headed to the Emirates Stadium, where a resounding 5-1 victory made Arsenal fans relive their previous pain. Chapter 559. With only 8 rounds left in the Premier League and Manchester City leading by 8 points despite having played one less match, Chelsea has almost no chance of a comeback. The Premier League is set to lose its suspense for the second consecutive year. One of the highlights of the Premier League is the competition among many teams, with the suspense of the champion being revealed only in the last 1 or 2 rounds. If this continues, one of the characteristics of the Premier League will be lost. The Premier League is moving closer to the Bundesliga. Manchester City is about to become the Bayern Munich of the Bundesliga. After this match, Zhao faced an interview and shared a few brief thoughts. Then the reporter asked about the Champions League question coming up in 7 days. After their home match against Hull City over the weekend, they will head to Germany, to Westfalen, to challenge Borussia Dortmund for a spot in the Champions League semifinals. There are rumors that you really like Dortmund. Is that true? Upon hearing this question, Zhao couldn't help but smile. Indeed, he has a deep affection for Borussia Dortmund. Yes, I have always had feelings for Dortmund that I can't even fully understand. The first time I heard about Dortmund was because of the Westfalen Stadion. At that time, I didn't even know this stadium is regarded as the most electrifying stadium in all of Europe. Chapter 560. Yeezy. You can't leave, easy. Manchester City fans were anxious upon seeing this interview. Zhao might not go to Real Madrid, but it sounds like he wants to go to Dortmund. Don't think too much. Super Zhao has long said he won't leave Manchester City. Perrin even mentioned that the future is uncertain. I believe in Super Zhao. He will definitely retire at Manchester City. At most, he will return to Wolverhampton at the end of his career. Yes, I only believe in Super Zhao's commitment. Anything anyone else says is false. Super Zhao just likes Westfalen. He has done so much for Manchester City, and we should give back to him. We should make the Etihad better than the Westfalen Stadium. What Zhao said in the interview instantly became a new hot topic in football. This is the influence of a superstar. If Zhao were still as low-key as before, he would have a good influence now, but he definitely wouldn't have such attention. His words and actions are full of topics, reminiscent of the previous Cristiano Ronaldo. However, his words sound even bolder than Ronaldo's. Of course, it just sounds more arrogant. Upon careful consideration, they're all facts, the truth. Chapter 561. Westfalen Stadium. The North Stand, a true gathering place for Dortmund diehards. In crucial matches, the entire stand will display a giant tifo. This not only showcases team culture, but also puts pressure on the opponents. On the UEFA Champions League stage, the North Stand has seen several famous tifo displays that have deeply shocked football fans worldwide. There are famous Caribbean pirates and passionate Dragon Balls. When that tifo covering the entire stand appears, it always captivates people's hearts. Everyone can feel the passion, wildness, unity, and loyalty of that stand. Players enter the field, and amidst some tedious rituals, before the official match begins, the stand culture belonging to Westfalen reemerges. A large number of puzzles are pieced together by countless fans. At first, it's hard to see the content of this huge tifo, but all the fans watching the live broadcast know that when the tifo is pieced together as a whole, it will definitely be a grand audiovisual feast. This will create significant psychological pressure on the visiting team. Zhao looks up at that fiery stand. There's a perfect camera angle. The tall Zhao appears incredibly small in front of the almost formed tifo. Chapter 562. In this match, Dortmund's starting lineup is a 4-2-3-1. The lone striker Aubameyang, who has a keen sense in front of the goal and is very agile in positioning, is a perfect opportunist. Behind him are young players Dembele, Götze, and Reyes. The double pivot is Weigl and Rode. The 4 defenders are Schmelzer, Bartra, Papastathopoulos, and Piszczek. The goalkeeper is Berkey, Götze, and Reyes. Once the twin stars in Klopp's team left Bayern dizzy amidst a youthful storm. They won the Bundesliga championship for 2 consecutive years and reached the Champions League final, battling Bayern Munich for 90 minutes, ultimately losing 1-2 in regret. If Götze hadn't announced his move to Bayern, causing instability in Dortmund, perhaps Dortmund would have had a chance to win the first Champions League title of the new century. Götze is considered a traitor by many Dortmund fans. Undeniably, Götze played a significant role in Dortmund's resurgence. After transferring to Bayern, he suffered a severe decline in form due to physical issues. This season, he returned to Dortmund but has been average. He performed well in the Champions League and started again in this match. Chapter 563. In the second half, Dortmund's offensive momentum did not diminish, with Company, and Stone's defense being solid as a rock. This left Dortmund with few good scoring opportunities. Manchester City gradually began to exert pressure. Starting from the 60th minute, Dortmund players' stamina began to decline. Manchester City started to control the rhythm. In the 68th minute, Manchester City kept passing around the perimeter, with Delph breaking past Piszczek and De Bruyne's pass pierced through the Dortmund defense. Zhao surged into the penalty area, and just as he got the ball, he was directly brought down by Papastathopoulos. The referee decisively awarded a penalty. The Westfalen Stadium erupted in boos. Unfortunately, it did not affect Zhao Yi's state. The more anxious the opponents became, the steadier Zhao Yi was. If you are indifferent, Zhao Yi might doubt himself. If you are angry and anxious, Zhao Yi will believe in himself even more. Zhao Yi took a powerful shot. He scored again, giving Manchester City a 2-goal lead. Afterwards, Manchester City's pace eased. Dortmund indeed became increasingly anxious. The technical and tactical level of the players became crucial here. Dortmund players found it hard to snatch the ball from Manchester City players. They were somewhat dazed by the slick play of Manchester City players. 10 minutes later, Weigl finally managed to win the ball and passed it to Götze, hoping the team could launch a counterattack. Chapter 564. Manchester City won 6-1 away against Dortmund, almost securing a spot in the Champions League semi-finals. After the match, Zhao Yi told the media, "Westfalen Stadium is still my favorite stadium. The fans here really love me, and when I score, they cheer even louder. That's why I performed exceptionally well, scoring 5 goals. Thank you to the fans of Westfalen. These are my heartfelt words. No other team's fans have welcomed me so warmly." Guan Yu and Lu Ming evidently did a lot of homework on Chinese culture. I think this is their immense love for me. I will always remember this. Will I join Dortmund? Probably not. I have said that I will retire at Manchester City. And after retirement, I will return to Molineux Stadium if the Wolverhampton fans still welcome me. After this Champions League match, Manchester City easily defeated Southampton 2-0 away. Chelsea, in a slump, lost again, and Manchester City's lead reached 14 points. In the second leg of the Champions League, Dortmund, fighting for their lives, could not defeat Manchester City at the Etihad. Manchester City won 2-1 at home. Chapter 565. Champions League top scorer, Premier League Golden Boot, Premier League Best Player, UEFA Best Player, UEFA Best 11. Zhao Yi has almost won all the awards available this season. The only assist king went to someone else. Over 2 seasons, Zhao Yi has completely removed all suspense from the entire Premier League and European football. He is moving towards his promise. He wants to ensure that there are no more big clubs in Europe. After successfully winning the Super Cup and Community Shield, Manchester City secured a total of 6 titles this year. As long as they can win the Club World Cup again, they can defend their title as 7-time champions. Europe is not without big clubs. There's only one big club in Europe. That is Manchester City. When the candidate list for the new season's Ballon d'Or was announced, Zhao Yi was surprisingly included. That same day, Zhao held a press conference and made a serious statement. "I will not attend the Ballon d'Or ceremony and do not acknowledge the award." He expressed his hope that the Ballon d'Or would have some integrity and remove him from the list. Zhao Yi's statement left the organizers of the Ballon d'Or completely speechless. France Football thought about easing the tension between both sides by actively including Zhao Yi in the list, and then Zhao Yi would back down. This way, everyone could save face.